Hello, my name is Darice. Welcome back to Moon Life Astro. And if this is your first time, welcome. On this channel, we talk about planning, productivity, astrology. Today, I'm going to talk about the upcoming astrology for the week, March 19th through March 26th, 2025. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the current eclipse season that we are in, revisit the Mercury retrograde and the Venus retrograde. And with that, let's just get into it. I actually like this time of year a lot. This is the spring equinox. It's a new season. And also, I wanted to check in, see how your eclipse season is going. We just had that this past weekend. I'm recording this ahead of time before the eclipse. So I have no idea what's happening in the world or the collective at this time. But I do know that leading up to the eclipse, the energy felt very heavy to me. It definitely felt like we were on the edge of a big change. I know there have been some big changes personally in my own life, and I know other people are going through some big seismic changes as well. And that is actually pretty typical for eclipses. Eclipses bring big reveals, they bring big changes. And as one of my favorite astrologers, Dabney Lawless, says, eclipses put us on our path. So if you have something that you recently lost, especially because last weekend's eclipse was an eclipse in Virgo next to the South Node. The South Node is about releasing what no longer serves us. Virgo in particular is also about decluttering, cleaning, clearing out. So if something left your life in the last couple of weeks, or if it happens in the next few weeks as eclipse season plays itself out, just know that that means whatever is being released because it either A, no longer serves you, it either no longer serves you, or it is blocking you from receiving what you truly need, what your soul is really calling for you to do, to fulfill, to live. Eclipses will course correct for us. So if you have lost something, it's because it was no longer working. Or if that happens in the next few weeks, it is helping you receive what will work better. It's clearing the way. And I think also because this is now happening during both the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde, Mercury being our how we communicate, how we receive and digest information, how we understand what's happening. Venus being our love, beauty, our relationships to love, beauty, money. We're reevaluating a lot right now in March. We are looking at what do I really need? What do I truly desire? What is truly serving me? What is no longer serving me? And this is an opportunity to embrace that energy. This week could feel like a contrast because typically a March equinox, excuse me, especially when you're in the northern hemisphere like I am, it's spring and it almost feels like a new year because astrologically it really is. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. The spring equinox happens right before we enter the sign of Aries. And so typically it feels like a new year. I mean, I think this is also typically why people like to do spring cleaning around this time. They're feeling that eclipse energy, which often coincides around the equinox. And so there's a natural tendency to want to declutter, to clean out. And you may be doing this energetically, and you may also be doing it physically in your home, in your offices, and life. The universe may be doing it for you in terms of your own emotional experiences. It may be happening in your professional relationships. It may be happening in your personal relationships. And so, if all of that is happening for you, take the time to sit with it. Retrogrades invite us to slow down and to feel our feelings. And given that the beginning of 2025 has been so intense, this is an excellent time to take some time to digest what has happened, what is happening, the losses that we are experiencing, both intellectually and emotionally, as well as individually and collectively. It is time to simply rest and assimilate what has happened to us, what's happening in the collective. And there's a lot to grieve. And this eclipse season is creating the space and the container for us to grieve. And some of you may be wondering, well, what does that have to do with me as a solopreneur, as a business owner? We are a reflection of our businesses, and our businesses are a reflection of who we are. And we need to be emotionally and spiritually healthy in order to serve our customers and our clients. It's that metaphor that everyone always uses, if the plane is going down, you put on your oxygen mask first before you help someone else. So this March, Astrology of 2025, is reminding us that we need to take care of ourselves. We need to be spiritually, emotionally, and mentally fit. And a part of that is creating space for feeling the feels, doing the shadow work. If you need to do forgiveness work, I recently have been revisiting the very powerful Hawaiian forgiveness prayer practice, Ho'oponopono. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I may be pronouncing it incorrectly, but it's been really powerful for me. I've been doing it since the beginning of March, and I'm going to continue doing it for the rest of eclipse season. And so maybe there's some forgiveness work that you need to do. And if you are a coach or a healer of some kind, if that's your business, and this is how you are helping people, um, this is good to be aware of just how tender people are right now. And many people that are coming to you, they may not even be aware of how tender they are. And this could be our role as a healer to hold space for that and to give people the safety, the foundation, the container to be that vulnerable, to be that tender, because there is a lot that needs to be released during this eclipse season. So, those are my thoughts right now. Hopefully, you are taking care of yourself. Hopefully, you are doing that work. And with that, I'm going to get into the astrology. And there's quite a bit happening actually this week. We have the sun entering Aries on March 20th. That, of course, is the March equinox or the fall equinox for those in the southern hemisphere. We have we have Venus sextiling Pluto, March 21st. And then we're going to have the sun conjunct Venus, March 22nd. The sun sextiling Pluto, March 23rd. We're going to have the sun conjunct Mercury, March 24. And then March will sextile Pluto, March 25. And then we're going to have Mars square Chiron, March 26. And don't worry, I'm going to break all of that down for you. So we're just going to take it bit by bit, piece by piece. Now, what I really like about this year, and well, this time of year in particular, like I said, we're entering the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere and the fall equinox in the southern hemisphere. And many people say that this is yet another reminder that the human race species, we hold the balance for each other. So when it's spring here, it's fall there. When it's summer here, it's winter there. um, I know there's something really nice about that, that we are connected and that we hold this energetic balance for each other on the planet. I wanted to get into also some of the practical tips that you can use for planning, productivity, and also some spiritual and energetic tips for you to use with this astrology coming up for the week. Like I said, we have the sun entering Aries season. It's going to be so nice to be in Aries season. I don't know about you, but this Pisces season has been really emotional for me. And the Pisces feeling of fog and confusion Pisces can rule imagination, fantasy, but it can also lead us to be delusional, um, overly optimistic sometimes. And it can also lead to a feeling of just not knowing what to do next. I actually was speaking to a really good friend recently, and what came out of my mouth was sitting with the unknowing. And at first I was like, I wonder what that really means. But I feel like that's what this Pisces season has been for me. And I think it's been that way for a lot of people. And in particular, because we are in eclipse season, um, the March 14th eclipse season was in Virgo. But so now, how eclipse season typically works is there's the 2 week lead into it, and then the first eclipse happens, and then 2 weeks later you have the second eclipse. So those 2 weeks between both eclipses is considered the eclipse doorway. So during that time, you're going to see what the eclipses are bringing to you, what changes are happening, or at least you'll get a feeling of what you're closing out from the previous eclipse season. They usually last around 18 months or so. So the last Libra eclipse season, excuse me, we're closing out the Libra Aries eclipse series. That began October 14th, 2023, with an eclipse in Libra. And so that eclipse series will officially close out about 2 weeks from now, March 29th, 2025. And that will be the final eclipse in Aries for that Libra eclipse Aries series. So the last 2 years, maybe there have been some major changes in one or two particular areas of your life. And it'll probably become clear, if it has not already become clear to you, what you are closing out from October 2023 to March 2025. And it may also be clear to you what new cycle is about to begin for the next 18 months or so in this Virgo Pisces eclipse series that we are now entering. So we are in the transition phase. So just reflect upon that. Consider what you are closing out, leaving behind, and think about what's coming in. And if it's not clear yet to you what is coming in, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Within the next 3 to 6 months, it will become clearer to you what the Virgo Pisces eclipse series for you will be about for the next 18 months or so. But this is a time, I feel like March is the time to sit in the unknowingness of what's happening in our worlds, in our lives, and to be aware that you can use that energy to your effect personally and also professionally in your business. And we're going to break that down as we go through it. So what I love about Aries is this bold, confident energy. Aries just gets an idea and it's like, let's run with it. It's a fire sign. It's all about action. It's the first sign of the zodiac. And what I like about Aries is that it says we don't have to have everything in place to get started. We don't have to know all of the how to's to get something done. We can just begin. Let's dive in. Let's figure it out as we go. And I think this actually is a really helpful attitude to have since we are in two retrogrades. What I like to do for retrograde, since we're reviewing old ground, I like to use retrogrades as a time to experiment, try new things, because that way, if it doesn't work, if it's a mistake, you learn from it and you redo it anyway. And most of the time in life, in order to get better at something, you have to make a mistake in order to learn. And I think retrogrades encourage us to have that attitude. Let's be playful. Let's learn how to do something new, or let's revisit how we've been doing something and let's tweak it. Let's make it better. And even if we're not happy with how the next iteration of it is, we're still moving forward. We're still making progress. And I think that's what's great about this time. So really embrace that Aries energy. This can also be a great time to look at your new goals for maybe the next 3 to 6 months. And maybe there are one or two small steps that you can take on it. This is also, excuse me, a great time of year for revising your projects, and also looking at your rebranding of your messages, maybe your social media content, maybe your website. I myself am in the process of reviewing some things that I want to do for my website and my email list. I'm looking at different ways to do that. I'm looking at different things to add to my YouTube channel. And even if I don't ultimately implement any of those things until maybe after Mercury has gone direct or after Venus has gone direct, even if I decide to do it before those planets go direct, it's fine. And, if it's something that I end up needing to revise or revisit later on, that's fine. It's life. We just keep moving forward. Excuse me, my throat's getting a little scratchy here. All right. Oh, and also this is a great time to celebrate your wins. What have you done? We're coming to the end of the quarter here. What have you accomplished? What are you proud of? What are you excited about? Take a moment to celebrate those things. A spiritual practice you can also use, you can light a red candle as a way to ignite your passion and your focus. So maybe light your red candle and meditate on what you want to focus on for the next 3 to 6 months. We now have Venus sextiling Pluto, March 21st. This can be a great time to have some transformation in your relationships and finances. Venus, again, our relationship to love, beauty, our finances. Um, it's also, I think of the inner feminine. I like to think of Venus sometimes even as the inner sacred feminine, and our ability to emotionally receive, have emotional space. And I think we're definitely asking ourselves those questions around those types of things since we are in the middle of a Venus retrograde. It began March 1st, it goes to April 12th. So if you're questioning those things in your life, that's perfectly in alignment with the energy, what's happening. And now, when it's in the supportive aspect with Pluto supporting it in this sextile, Pluto, the planet of deep transformation, this is an excellent time to transform anything that you need to transform in those areas: love, beauty, finances. Maybe you're reevaluating your pricing, your coaching packages. Maybe you're looking at creating a package for your services or your products. This is a great day to maybe jot down some ideas or notes, or just keep a note recorder around you or a notebook and see what insights come to you on March 21st around those things. This is also a great time for renegotiating contracts, especially since we are in Mercury retrograde. And this can also be a great time for deepening client relationships. Like I mentioned earlier, people are going through a lot emotionally right now. So if you are a coach or a healer, you might watch your clients experience some pretty major breakthroughs during their sessions with you during this particular week. This can also be an ideal time for attracting new clients or new business partnerships. You could, if you are considering partnerships with people, this could be a good week to at least strategize how you'd like to approach somebody in the future. You may want to wait at least until after March 24th. That's when Mercury will be conjunct the Sun. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Uh, but yeah, you could at least begin brainstorming, jotting down some ideas about how you want to approach new partnerships or new clients, that sort of thing. But basically, this is a great week to use this energy to infuse more passion into your work. And it's always a great time to practice gratitude for the resources and the relationships that you have. And one spiritual practice for this particular energy, maybe you could work with rose quartz or garnet to enhance love and abundance. You could keep those maybe in your workspace, for example. And again, with the spring equinox, this could be a great time to do some intention setting. So maybe you could do a ritual for what you want to happen over the next 3 months before we come into summer or even into fall, maybe the next 6 months as well. Uh, Reflect again on your achievements. And this again is a great time to be reflecting on what you want to release, what no longer is serving you. You could also create a ritual to honor the balance of light and dark. So, lighting candles, journaling, meditating, any type of reflection, maybe a dance meditation of some sort, or maybe get together with some friends, do that sort of thing. Just play with it, have fun. March 22nd, we have the Sun conjunct Venus. This is a very supportive this is a supportive aspect for helping you. Well, the sun again represents ourselves, how we see ourselves. And so this could be a great time to redo your own makeup. Maybe do a revamp of your hair, your wardrobe. Look at how you want to do that. I think it's great to play with that sort of thing during a Venus retrograde. Because again, if you decide you don't like how it looks, it's not permanent. You can update it at a later time. But I like to use again that retrograde energy to experiment, try new things, see what works. And so March 22nd could be a good day to play around with some of those things. This could also be a really great time too for working on your creative projects, your marketing, your branding, and also building relationships with existing clients. And this could also be a great time to go back to previous clients, especially since we are in a Mercury retrograde. So maybe March 22nd could be a good day that you send out the email, or you at least draft the email or the text message, and then you can send it at another time if it doesn't feel like it's appropriate to send it that actual day. This could be a great day as well to refine your messaging. And you could also collaborate with others or seek feedback on your work. And this could also be a good time to focus on creating content that resonates with your audience. Maybe you want to do a spontaneous live either on Instagram or Facebook to get a sense of what people are looking for, what they like about your work, questions they have about your work, that type of thing. And again, for the spiritual practice, you could work with rose quartz, which is Venus's stone, to enhance your creativity and harmony. We have the Sun sextiling Pluto on March 23rd. This is a day for personal power and transformation. The Sun, again, how we see ourselves, our identities, Pluto, transformation. When they're in a supportive aspect, this could be a good day for you to really sit down and reflect upon how are you using your own personal power, your personal strength. At this point, what have you learned so far in eclipse season? What have you learned so far in this Venus retrograde? What have you learned so far in this Mercury retrograde? What is being shown to you? What ideas would you like to implement in the future? What practices need to change? What new projects or opportunities are coming to you? This could be a very exciting time. So this could be a good day just to look at where do you need to rebrand? Where do you need to pivot? Maybe you could make some even bold decisions on that particular day for how you want to move forward. And again, like most of March, excellent time for releasing old patterns and embracing our growth. And if there's a way to maybe take one bold step towards your goals, March 23rd, that could be a good day to do that. Maybe that's the day you set up that landing page that you have been sitting on, even if you don't actually let it go live just yet. And then for your spiritual practice, meditate on your inner strength. Really meditate on your inner strength and just how much you have endured this year and the last couple of years, and even the hard things you've overcome in your life. And pat yourself on the back for that. Give yourself a hug, do something comforting and nurturing to celebrate. Now, on March 24th, my favorite part of the Mercury retrograde is the Sun conjunct Mercury, or what some would call the Mercury conzimi. That is when there's clarity during the Mercury retrograde. It's a wonderful day for insights. Again, that's another great day, March 24, to keep that note recorder nearby or notebook. And if any epiphanies come to you, any interesting messages come to you, it's a great day to mark that down. And this can also be a great day for communicating and decision making. So maybe there is someone you've been wanting to reach out to. This is the time during the Mercury retrograde to do it on March 24th. That would be the day to send that email, send that text, do that post. It's also a fantastic day for strategic planning, brainstorming, or pitching ideas. And in my opinion, this is when we're in the action phase of the Mercury retrograde. I'm not one of those people who believes you have to wait completely until the end, until Mercury has gone direct, especially if you're reviewing things that you've already done or that they're similar to things that you've already done. I would hesitate on doing anything that's completely out of your wheelhouse, something that you've never done before. I would definitely wait on those types of activities until after Mercury has gone direct. But if you are revising, revamping, revisiting things that you've done in the past or that are similar to what you've done in the past, Mercury 24th through April 7th to the end of the Mercury retrograde, I think it's fine to take action on. Of course, still renegotiate contracts. I still wouldn't sign a new contract until Mercury has gone direct, if at all possible. But if you can't wait until April 7th, then after March 24th, is kind of okay, at least. But definitely still continue to review all of the fine print, double, triple check everything. But there's an energy lift usually with the Mercury Cazimi. And hopefully, since this eclipse season has felt so heavy, I'm hoping there'll also be a lift in the eclipse energy as well. And we can't guarantee it, but we can hope for it, right? Oh, this is also a good time to schedule a focused work session to tackle some important priorities. Um, and also avoid overthinking. This day, March 24th, trust your instincts, trust your gut on these things. And then let's see, I know we've had a lot this week, a lot going on. March 25th, we're almost there. Hang in there with me if you can to the end. March 25th, Mercury sextile Pluto. Mercury, again, conversations, communication, how we digest information, Pluto, transformation. Those days coming together, deep conversations and strategies. This could actually be a good day to have that therapy session, get that energy work done. You may have some great insights. This could be a good day to do some of the shadow work, your ritual work, because it's going to bring that depth to your communication. You can also review your strategizing as well. This could be a good time for uncovering hidden truths and solving problems. This may also be a day where something is brought to your attention that needs to be resolved. And that is a gift from the universe because it's showing it to you before it becomes an even bigger problem. Again, great time for renegotiations. This could also be a great time for research or refining your business strategy. And of course, again, could be a great time for having meaningful conversations with clients and collaborators, and also with your significant others, your personal relationships, since again, we are also in the Venus retrograde. Some actionable tips. Dive deep into a project or problem that has been needling you. You can use this energy for, again, refining your messaging and branding. And as always, be honest and transparent in your communications. As a spiritual practice, you could work with obsidian or black tourmaline for grounding, protection, and clarity. All right. And then we're on the last one. We made it through the week. March 26th, Mars squares Chiron. Now, Mars is our ability to act, our bravery, our courage, our ability to initiate. It can also represent our anger, our aggression, the shadow side of it. Chiron, it's the wounded healer, or what the old church ladies would say, that test that you have to have before you have the testimony. When Mars and Chiron come into a tough aspect or a challenging aspect, like a square, um, Mars could be forcing us to deal with a wound that we have been running from. So if we have not been listening to the nudges that eclipse season has been giving us, that Venus has been showing us, that Venus has been showing us, March 26th could be the day where Mars says, all right, you have to deal with this now. You have to face this feeling. You have to do this shadow work. You have to do this healing. So again, this could be a great time to set aside the time for the therapy appointment, the body work, the healing work, the journaling, the shadow work, to dive deep. Because at the end of the day, as I've been hearing in several communities, we have to feel it in order to heal it. We have to feel it in order to heal it. So give yourself time and space. This might also be a good day to do some of that grieving that I was referring to earlier. As a solopreneur, you could also use this day as a time to look at your fears and insecurities around your business, around how you see yourself as an entrepreneur, and where those beliefs are coming from. Whose voice is that? Is it really your voice, or is it someone else's? And this could also be an ideal time for taking small healing steps towards your goals. One way to do this work, maybe identify one fear or one block and take action to overcome it. Practice self-compassion, and again, acknowledge your progress. Acknowledge how far you've come and what an amazing being of the light, beauty, and truth that you are. Use this energy to heal and to grow. And in terms of spiritual practice, work with amethyst or clear quartz for healing and clarity. Well, I hope this was helpful to you. If you receive value from this, please do like the video. Please do subscribe. It does help me get the message out to people. I really do appreciate your time. I am so grateful for your time and attention, especially if you've made it this far to the end of the video with me. Thank you again for your support. I'm wishing you love, peace, and joy. Easefully yours, Darice.